All right, back again here in the Sort of Sports Podcast, episode 153. And folks, we have a series. The Pacers won game one, and I truly believe that's all they needed. Winning game one sets them up for now. They're going back to Indianapolis. As long as they split at home, we essentially now have a best of three series because you go back to Oklahoma City tied up 2-2. And I like Indy's chances in a best of three series. Would I bet money on them to win it? I don't know. I probably not actually. But I do think it gets really interesting because as long as Indiana can stay within, I don't know, 10 points, 10, 15 points in the last 5 minutes, I think they have a chance to win every single game in this series. And there was a point, I think in game two, that I think they thought they were going to come back. Thunder ended up making some shots down the stretch, and so it ended up being a Thunder win. But even then, with about 8 minutes left, they're down like 19. I'm like, still a really good shot here for the Pacers. And that's crazy. Is like that's how good this Pacers team has been. And credit to them because the Thunder, I mean, this team won 68 games. And here I am afraid of a 19-point lead um, with 8 minutes left to go. But that's like how good this Pacers team has been in the clutch. So Oklahoma City winning that second game at home was huge, but I mean, they had to win that, right? You don't want to go to Indianapolis down 2-0. The craziest thing that could happen is the Pacers win both at home and they go up 3-1. That would be insane. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to split in Indianapolis and, like I said, go back game five, series tied up 2-2, and then it's a best of three series. And I'm really excited for that. I think we truly have a series here. Somebody said it feels a little bit 2001 finals-y, where the Lakers played the Sixers, and the Sixers, Allen Iverson, stole game one, and then Lakers won the next four. I don't think so. I really think we're gonna have a series here. Like just like last night, I still felt like the Pacers had a chance, and that's very impressive. But we got to talk about this Pacers team. Like this is an incredible postseason run. Tyrese Halliburton 4 for 4 on clutch shots this postseason. Insane. Like if he would have missed the third clutch shot, I'd been like, well, I mean, he made the last two, so it's not that big of a deal. He's 4 for 4. That's insane. It's also funny that they're trying to push the moment nickname when like clearly everyone online is going to call him the Haliban, and like they're not going to call him that. I understand that, but that's what the internet has decided his nickname is. I just think it's funny because the whole NBA nickname like meme was big back like late February, and it's really funny that we got a guy in the finals who has one of, if not the funniest. I think the only one I liked more was the ad hominem fallacy, which was Jalen Green's like goofy nickname they gave him. Um, but it's a hilarious nickname, and all the jokes around him, and pretty outrageous, and it's just funny because obviously the NBA is not going to promote that, which I completely understand. Probably not exactly a joke in the best of taste, but it is funny that they're trying to push the nickname the moment, and it's like if I'm them, I'm just not touching it, right? Like I'm just being like, just calling him Halliburton or Hallie. Like don't try to push a different nickname because then it just draws more attention to the fact that there's clearly another nickname the fans have chosen that you have not agreed with, essentially, for obvious reasons, I get. But yeah, I mean that was an insane way to steal game one, and it's like I talked. I just wanted them to see them win that first game because now we have a series. It's going to be interesting to see that crowd at Indianapolis. I think they're going to be pumped. I don't see them losing both at home, like I said, and so it's getting interesting. Like if they could somehow win the two in Indianapolis, bonkers. But what did OKC do right there in the second game? I think really they just made more shots down the stretch, right? And I think that's the argument to the idea that the Pacers winning game one was a fluke, was that last night we saw Pacers started to come back late there in the fourth, and the Thunder just sank shots, and that was that. Like that kind of ended that moment where it was like, ooh, the Pacers are going to come back here? No, they just got shut down. And so that's kind of the argument against this becoming a great series. But I truly think this is going to go seven. I think this is going to be an excellent, like a classic finals. Probably the best finals we've had in the 2020s, because I think right now the crown still goes to the 2021 finals with the Bucks and Suns, but that only went 6 games. We haven't seen a 7-game series since 2016. It's been 9 years, which is crazy because when 2016 happened, it had been 3 years since the last one. 2013 was the last 7-game series. So it's, been a while here for the NBA. I have to look up. I should have looked that up before. what was the longest drought without a 7-game series. That would be an interesting thing for me to look up. I'll have to remember that for episode 154. But a few things I wanted to touch upon. Nembhard guarded SGA and did excellent. Because I thought they were going to put Mathurin on him. I figured that's what they were going to do. And then Andrew Nembhard stepped up. And of course, Andrew Nembhard, everybody was going crazy over that clip where SGA was guarding him. And he bullied him. I mean, Andrew Nembhard put the moves on, stepped back on SGA, drained it. Andrew Nembhard, elite. Like, has been elite playoff riser. If any of you follow me on TikTok, I made like an edit talking about when I was talking about like different playoff risers, and the Pacers were one of them. And originally, he was going to be one of the players I highlighted. I ended up going with Brucey Brown anyway, so because I like Bruce Brown. But I thought about Nembhard, and so it's really funny that he's been stepping up because he stepped up last year too. Like, he just is an incredible playoff riser. Like, it's like Jamal Murray levels. Jamal Murray was another one of those. I guess I should. I'm on TikTok as Ryan Klinger. I never really. I just kind of assume because I like put it in the description, but Ryan Klinger on TikTok, and all the clips that are posted YouTube Shorts here are also posted on TikTok under my name. So there's that. But props to Andrew Nembhard. And it's really fun with SGA and Andrew Nembhard because they know each other, playing on Team Canada in the Olympics. And SGA really talked him up, and they seem to really like each other. And so it's funny that they're going back and forth. It's really fun. So I really enjoyed that aspect to this. There's too many days between the games, though. Too many days between these games. It really kills the flow. Not just for the fans, but I feel like the players, too. Like, anybody who's ever played basketball, not that I'm very good, but I'm saying that would definitely mess with your mojo. To take a 3-day break, like, it wouldn't even feel like a series. It would just feel weird. So I don't understand why the NBA wants to do that. Why can't we do, once you're at a place, like, let's say, first 2 games, right? We're at Oklahoma City. You play the first game on Thursday, second game on Saturday. Then when you go back to Indianapolis, you take a 2-day, right? So it'd be Sunday, Monday off, Tuesday night. But instead what they've done is a Thursday night game, a Sunday night game, and a Wednesday night game for the first 3 games of the series. I just don't understand. Why do we need that many break days? We're already in the city. I get it's the NBA Finals. I get it's a huge deal. But I think it hurts your viewership. I think it makes it weird for the players. I will say one could make the argument we would see less upsets and we would see shorter series if there were less rest days, right? Because it gives players time to kind of reset momentum and stuff. So I see that argument, but I just don't like it. Like, I would rather have more games. It just felt weird. Saturday night, and we had a really fun first 2 games of the College Softball World Series between Texas Tech and Texas. But then game 3 was, Texas just blasted Texas Tech this last weekend. And so, it was the only show in town. What was that? Was that Friday or Saturday night? I think it was Friday night. Yeah, that was like the only thing really on. So, and Saturday, no Stanley Cup, no NBA. It was just like, okay. Thought it was odd. Like, I don't know. Could have done better. But, yeah, and I just don't understand. And I think this every year with the finals. There's just too many breaks between the games. Like, for example, my mother. My mother's a very casual NBA fan. She basically only ever watches during the playoffs. And she's really enjoyed this Pacers team. And she was like, Friday night, she was like, oh, watch the Pacers again? And I was like, no, they're not on until Sunday. She was like, Sunday? Like, see, I can understand, like, a 1-day rest, but Sunday? I was like, yeah, I know. Like, crazy. Like, watch them on a Thursday and then don't play again until Sunday. It's not good. We gotta fix that, NBA. And speaking of things you gotta fix, there was a lot of pushback on social media due to no Larry O'Brien trophy on the court. It's over the years, the NBA's presentation of the finals has slowly deteriorated and just gotten less and less. The finals branding has become weaker and weaker and weaker. And they just keep adding more advertisements and taking away the Larry O'Brien trophy, the gold logos, everything. And I hate the current ESPN scoreboard. That minimalist design, there's no logos for the team. I really, really dislike it. I don't enjoy it. And it really doesn't look good for the finals. And then they put this little JPEG. They got bullied into putting this little JPEG of the Larry O'Brien like digitally on the court, and it looked terrible. And it looked so terrible they got bullied out of it and they took it off. And I'm like, this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the league. It's embarrassing for everybody involved. I don't understand. They have professionals doing this. I'm sure they are more skilled than this. I'm sure the guys working it are disappointed because they know they could put out a better product. But the way the NBA is running it, the way ESPN is running it, they don't care. There's just more space for advertisements, and it just kills it. Like, I think you would get a lot. Presentation is everything, right? We all know when it comes to anything, perception is reality, right? If you present it as a big deal, it feels like a big deal. And the finals are not presented like they're a big deal right now. And I have a lot of faith in NBC when they get the rights to the NBA that they're going to try to make things feel like a big deal. That is my hope. Do I have a reason to think that? A little bit, because Sunday Night Football is some of the best presented sports content out there, period. I think Sunday Night Football is a very well done program. They make every game feel like a big deal, even though it's just regular season football. And everybody tunes in for Sunday Night Football, no matter what the matchup is. They do an excellent job on Sunday Night Football, and that's NBC. And so I have hope that when they get the finals starting next year, they're going to do a really good job of presenting it as a big deal. And they should. It's the NBA Finals. It should feel like a big deal. It's insane that it doesn't. And so I have really high hopes for that, and I hope they put the Larry O'Brien back on the court. They said it was because of players slipping, but how come we can do it for the in-season tournament then? For the NBA Cup, we have those courts. So it's clearly not a player safety thing. So that was pissing me off. And it's dumb. It does not make sense. To me, that should happen every year. That every finals, we put the Larry O'Brien trophy behind the team logo. That would look great. I like the patch in the uniforms. Keep that. We don't need to have special jerseys or anything. But put the Larry O'Brien on the court behind the logo the way we used to do it, right? Like 2010 Lakers, Celtics, that look. Do that again. Do we really need to have presented by YouTube TV everywhere? Like, do we really? So it's on the court, right? It's on the court, 3 different spots. That I'm trying, and then I'm going off memory. There might be more. But it's on the court 3 different spots. Then it's on the scoreboard. And then last night, every once in a while, there'll be a little box that pops up out of the scoreboard, and it'll say presented by YouTube TV. And it's hilarious. If you looked at the scoreboard, you would see the NBA Finals, and then a little spot that says brought to you by YouTube TV. And then another box would open up, and it'd say presented by YouTube TV. I know it's by YouTube TV, and I understand they're getting paid a lot of money by YouTube TV, and I get that. It's not worth this. I'm being serious. Like, this is bad. It is really bad presentation. It's honestly embarrassing, and they got to do better, and I think everyone wants them to do better. And I think, once again, going back to the perception as reality thing, if you make the finals feel like a bigger deal, people will watch more. I think Pacers Thunder, a series that I really like, it had really low ratings. The first game had terrible ratings. I think it was like the lowest rated game since 1988, which was Lakers Pistons, was that finals. I think if you present it as a big deal, people will tune in regardless of the teams. Now, are you going to triple your viewership? No. But I guarantee it's like Field of Dreams, right? If you build it, they will come. And if you make it feel like a big deal and you make the Larry O'Brien trophy visible and you make the finals feel important, they weren't showing the national anthem. They weren't showing the player introductions. They didn't do any of that. That's wrong. We can't be doing this. The Super Bowl is presented like a massive deal. That's why every year everyone thinks it is. Now, are you going to be as big as the Super Bowl? No, you're not. Football's king in American television, and that's the end of it. But come on. It's not good presentation. It's not good presentation at all. The NBA needs to step it up. And I think a lot of people are getting upset about it because it's multiple years of this. And it's frustrating, especially because I think this finals is a really fun matchup. And I've been really pleased the first 2 games. Last night was really not that close of a game. It didn't matter. I still enjoyed it. I think it's really fun what we're doing right now in the NBA. And I really like these 2 teams. And it was funny. I don't know if I said this in the last pod or not. I'm sorry if I did. But I read that this was the first time in like a long time since that the 2 teams in the finals didn't play on Christmas Day. Why weren't the Thunder playing on Christmas Day? We knew they were going to be good. They were the number 1 seed in the conference last year. They were the favorites to win the finals this year. What? Why weren't the Thunder playing on Christmas? That's the NBA problem. I could get not putting the Pacers on Christmas Day. I get that. But the Thunder? Why weren't they on Christmas Day? What are we doing? It's the NBA's own fault. They're not... One time in one of my classes, there was somebody who said, you can't. What was it? If you don't sell it to people, they're not going to buy it. I think that's what he said. It's not on the shelf, they can't buy it. It's true. Think about it with anything, right? If you don't show them you have it and you don't tell them to buy it, they're not going to. People aren't going to be like, I mean, are there some big NBA fans that go out of their way for it? Of course, like me, right? I'm going out of my way to watch this. But your general audience does not care. It's the same reason they're pumping $200 million into the Superman marketing budget. Because if people don't know about the movie, they're not going to go see it. Side note, the Superman marketing's been pretty excellent. Very happy. I'm very happy I drafted it, and we've hit the stage, right? So we started off, I was super excited for the movie. Then I got to the point, I'm like, wait, what if it's not good? Now we've hit the final stage where I believe more than ever that it is going to be awesome, and I cannot wait. I am so excited. So that's where I'm at with the Superman movie. Pretty pumped. But I think that's all I have to say on the finals. Let me check my notes, make sure that I covered everything I wanted to say. Yeah, that is. But that's really my main points for today. I know it's a really short pod, but we're only 2 games into this series. Looking forward to the rest of them. I do think we're going 7. I still have Pacers in 7. I'm really glad they stole game 1. That's all they needed to do to make this a series. And so I'm stoked for it to go back to Indianapolis and see what happens. I'm very excited. So hopefully you're enjoying the NBA Finals. Hopefully the presentation gets a step up. Maybe they go to Indianapolis. They're going to do something better, but they're not going to do that stupid JPEG on the court again. That looked terrible. It looked awful. Do better, NBA. And, yeah, so the product itself, like the basketball is good. It's just everything around it right now I don't think is being marketed very well. So, okay. That's it for me. Wow, this is a really short pod. It's only like 17 minutes. So hopefully you enjoyed. And if you run a long car ride and you plan on listening to me, sorry to disappoint. I will see you all in the next one. Enjoy the NBA Finals.